Hi, my freshmen and other people, teachers, freshmen. We're going to go through the quotient rule today. So last time you should have done multiplication rule and you did the assignment and you did awesome on it. This one's going to be very similar. The rest of this booklet's going to be similar. We want you to explore a lot of these ideas on your own. Remember, that's the most powerful way to learn. So when you're done, you'll check number 3 and let's get started. So go to, I believe it's page 9, 8 or 9, and the quotient rule. Let me hide this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the same stuff as last time. I'm going to show you how to work it out, and then I want you to try and work it out on your own. So what I got 2 cubed and 2 squared. 2 cubed divided by 2 squared. So if I make my fraction bar, on the top I've got 2 times 2 times 2, because we know that about exponents. Then on the denominator, the bottom, we've got 2 times 2. Well, if you remember what we know about canceling, you'll notice that these 2's are going to cancel, these 2's are going to cancel, and we'll have 2 to the first left on top. Or we could just call that 2. Okay, we're looking for cancellation. Let's see another. Now, thus x cubed and x squared, notice how it's very similar. We're going to do the same thing. On the top, we've got x times x times x. And on the bottom, we've got x times x. That's x squared. We're looking for cancellation. So if we see this will cancel, we have just one x left in our numerator, and that's just x. Okay, let's do one more. So now we've got x's and y's. So I'll do my x's in blue. So x to the 6th power is just x times x times x, x times x times x. There's 6 of them. Okay, and then my y's, I got y cubed. So I'm going to do y times y times y. Then on the denominator, I'm going to go back to my blue for my x's. I've got x squared, so x times x, and I've got one y, just y. Okay, oops. So I'm going to look for the cancellation. Well, I see that this one's going to cancel, this one's going to cancel, and I've got 4 x's left over. So that means I have x to the 4th left over. Over here, I'm looking for cancellation too. I only have 1 cancel, so now I have 2 left over. We've got y squared. Now, I want you to look for patterns. Finish this table. You should pause it right now, and then we'll come back. Look for the numbers. You got x to the 6th, x squared. How does that relate to x to the 4th? Y cubed, y to the 1st. How do those numbers relate to y squared, the 3 and the 1? And then try and figure out the rule. So pause it, figure it out. Okay, I'm back. So I'm looking at this one. We had 3 squared, so there's 2 3's multiplied together in the top, and 3 to the first, 1 in the bottom, and we had the cancellation. So there's only 1 3 left over, and that's what we got. Down in this one, we had x to the 6th, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bottom. We look at cancellations. We've only got x squared left over because there was 2. Then the next one, I multiplied it all out. There's 20 x's in the top, 9 in the bottom. We got our cancellation. We're left with 11. Now, I don't know if you figured it out, so you didn't have to multiply x 20 times, but 20 and 9 have a relationship. Then we did the same thing with the 2 variables. So we had 7 x's and 3 x's. Note the order change. We can do that by the commutative property. And we had 8 y's and 5 y's. We had a lot of cancellation. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 x's left over. That's how I got x to the 4th. And 3 y's left over. That's how we got y cubed. Did you notice 7 minus 3 is 4? 8 minus 5 is 3. It's the same thing as multiplication, except we're subtracting. So we know x to the m minus n is going to be our rule. When we're dividing, we subtract exponents. So in words, when we divide, the same base, we subtract exponents. Okay, so let's move on. Let's do some examples. So now just using the rule, well, we know we have the same base we're dividing. We get 5 to the 6 minus 4. That's 5 squared. And remember, if we have numbers, we want to multiply it all out. 5 times 5 is 25. Well, I'll go as far as we can. Then we do the same thing. We're going to separate our numbers and our letters. So 4 divided by 16, well, that's a fraction. 4 divided by 16, we can simplify that by dividing both the top and the bottom by 4. So this gives me 1/4. And we've got the a's, a to the 9th and a to the 5th. That gives us a to the 9 minus 5, which is a to the 4th. Okay, so I could write this in a couple ways. I could say 1/4 times a to the 4th, or I could say, I'm going to write it down here, a to the 4th divided by 4. Either one of those is fine. I like this one because it looks a little simpler. Then in number 3, I've got my a to the 9th divided by a cubed. So we just subtract that. We get a to the 9 minus 3. And my b to the 6th, I don't have any like terms, so I just keep it, b to the 6th. This simplifies down to a to the 6th, b to the 6th. All done. Now we've got our a's and our b's. So I'm going to do my a's in blue. So I get a to the 13 minus 10. Well, you could do that in your head if you want. And then our b's to the 5 minus 5. B to the 5 minus 5. Okay? Well, we know that that's going to turn into 0. So let's see what actually happens. We get a cubed b to the 0. Well, for now, it's going to cancel out. We'll look a little closer at that later. So we just get a cubed left over. I mean, if you wanted to do it real quick, b times b times b times b times b divided by b times b times b times b times b. You wanted to see that? Cancel, 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 cancel. Everything canceled. So we just had the a cubed. All right, moving on. We got x to the 9th and x cubed and x to the 6th. Oh, lordy. We're combining rules now. So we're multiplying on top, so we would add them together. So we would get x to the 9 plus 6. That was our old rule. And we have an x on the bottom. That means we're going to subtract, so minus 3. Then with my y's, I've got y to the 4th and y. Remember, that's y to the 1st. If it doesn't say anything, we got y to the 4 minus 1. So what do we get after all that? We get x. Well, 9 plus 6 is 15, and then 15 minus 3, x to the 12th. Then we got our y's, y to the 4 minus 1, that's y cubed. All right, wasn't that bad. Whew, not that bad. So then we're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to do all the multiplication on top, and then all the multiplication on the bottom, and then I'm going to subtract them. Okay, so I'm going to look at all my x's on the top. Remember, that's multiplication. So when we multiply, we add x to the 7 plus 8. Then we got y cubed, so times y cubed. There's no other y's on top. And times z to the 7th. Okay, that's all my top stuff. And then in the bottom, we've got z. Let's do the x's first. X to the 4th, x to the 6th, x to the 4 plus 6. Remember, when we multiply, we add. That is a terrible 4. Sorry. And we've got z squared. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. So we've got x to the 15th times y cubed times z to the 7th all over x to the 10th and z squared. Now when I look at this, I'm going to look at my x's that I'm dividing. 15 and 10, so we get x to the 15 minus 10, right? When we divide, which is that middle bar, we subtract. I didn't do anything with y cubed. And z to the 7 minus 2. So z to the 7 minus 2. Running out of space. Sorry. All of that simplifies down to x to the 5th, y cubed, z to the 5th. Okay, again, if you have questions, please ask.